In this video, I'm going to share some of the ways that you can outsource recruiting and some of the pros and cons of doing so, and my recommendation at the end of it. So stay tuned. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video, which I happen to talk about building and nurturing your high-performing team and giving you all the tips, tricks, and advice on growing your business. My name is Sadaf Sheikh, and I'm going to share right now the various ways that you can actually outsource recruiting. It's not most people think that when you think about outsourcing recruiting, it's about talking to a recruitment agency and having them source candidates for you and then send them over to you. You pay a percentage of the person's salary to the agency for finding you the person if you end up hiring them. But there are actually a few other ways that you can outsource recruiting that doesn't completely give the whole process out. Retainer-based firms are the other types of firms that you could be looking at. And these are also agencies, but they target a more senior level, more executive level position. And the caveat is that they will usually be the only ones searching for your position. So you cannot, and you'll sign a contract with them that says you will not retain any other search firms because they want to have the monopoly, not in a bad way, monopoly on the job for you in the marketplace. And these search firms typically charge a retainer, which means that you pay them typically about 30% upfront of what you anticipate the candidate's first year salary is going to be. And because typically executive positions pay, definitely six figures, that amount can be pretty sizable. So, and their fee structure is 30 to 35% of the candidate's first year salary. And but these guys are like extremely specialized, and in some instances it's worthwhile outsourcing to a retainer-based search firm, especially if you're looking for an executive that needs to fit a very specific type of position. Another way to outsource your hiring function is by actually hiring a person on contract to do all of the preliminary interviews and the sourcing for you. When I first started my business back in 2017, that was my first paid gig. That's what I did for a larger organization, is I went and I sourced candidates for them and I screened them through, like a preliminary screening. And then once they passed the screening based on some set criteria that the organization had given me, I then passed it along to them and they continued on with the process. Now, typically a recruiter like this would charge you anywhere from $50 to $65 an hour. You may think that that's a lot, but actually the amount of work that they do in that, for the screening and sourcing is well worth the price paid. So for example, I can tell you that for me to fill a position in this type of work structure took me about 20 to 25 hours of work per position. So that really doesn't amount to a lot when you think about it, especially if you're getting all of that sourcing and you're getting quality people in to help you make the final decision, right? So the key is to find a recruiter that's going to be able to bring you the quality people. And so then in that case, paying $1,800 or $2,000 for the position is actually not too bad, considering what you would have paid if you had hired an agency to do pretty much exactly the same thing. The other thing that you can do for your small business is to actually hire out a consultant who takes care of all of your HR needs. So this consultant would help you with some of the employee relations pieces, some of the recruitment, some of the onboarding strategy, helping you with any questions you might have with respect to, performance management or goal setting or succession or any of this stuff. And that of course will be a little bit higher because you're getting some more specialized knowledge and expertise, but also you're getting the recruitment and sourcing and all of that piece taken care of. Now, not all HR consultants will do the recruitment piece for you, so you do have to look around and ask. But typically an HR consultant for small businesses will run anywhere from $150 an hour, $125 an hour to about $250 an hour. And it could be more if you're also getting an executive coach grouped into that, plus some more specific specialized expertise like compensation and leadership programs and things like that. So the question then is, should you outsource recruitment or not? And the short answer is yes and no. Okay, so I'm not being difficult, but here's the deal. You can absolutely outsource specific aspects of recruitment, but there are a couple of things that you do need to keep in mind. Number one, nobody knows the role as well as you do. And so you have to be crystal clear in your communication to to your help, whoever's helping you in whatever respect, as to the requirements of the job. Because that first little while, you are going to be a bit of a guinea pig as the agency or the contractor starts to get to know you and your organization. You have to be very clear on the feedback that you provide to them as to why a certain candidate worked or didn't work, so that they can refine their search. This communication is the biggest single piece that's missing when in a recruiter business owner or business leader relationship. The other thing is, if you do decide to work with a recruiter, make sure you give them as much information as you can about the context of the job as well. So it's not enough to just tell them about the role and the job description and, kind of what your requirements are for the position, but also how that position relates to your overall organization in context, right? Who are they going to be communicating with? What types of, attributes do they need to have in order to make this position and their time in the position a success? The other thing to also communicate to them is where you are in your industry. So from an industry perspective, if you give them enough information, that should be very helpful to them in finding the right person for you. So, for example, talk about your competitors and say, okay, where would this role sit within your competitor landscape? And the other thing is to always be aware that you have to also ensure that, again, like I said, the feedback that you're giving to them is crystal clear, and that whenever they are sending candidates to you that do not necessarily fit the bill, or that do fit the bill even, that you really like, tell them that and make sure that you're keeping that communication line open. If, however, you decide you don't want to outsource recruiting and you want a process on how to continue to hire the best talent out in the marketplace in your industry, you might want to consider a high performance culture academy. I have a link to book a call with me, and we can definitely talk about whether that is going to be the right fit for you or not. It is an absolutely free call to get on, and we talk about your strategy and how we can help you hire the best talent without spending any money on external support. And that's it for today. Let me know in the comments below whether you have used external support, either recruiters or a contract person, to help you with your recruitment process. I'd love to hear your experience with this, or whether you've just gone it alone, and what are some tips and tricks that you have for making recruitment a little bit easier. Comment below and let me know. Like this video if you did find this information useful, and of course make sure that you subscribe so you can come back next week, same time, same place. Bye.